Hello. So today's video is for the April makes. I've already done some prep, but I'll go through what I've done and I'll show you how I made them with another colour combination. So last month was about getting some of my I did a video around some of the makes I'd purchased over the last 6 to 9 months I still hadn't used, and I'd asked I'd set a challenge to make suggestions of what I could use them for, so I did that, and someone did respond. So I made a card along the suggestions of what they'd asked for, and I also made one or two other things. So in order to follow that theme, the folio is going to be it's not really a folio, it's an album. It's a mini album. It's going to be a tag album, and it's going to be with book rings. So I've already punched the holes, and as I say, I've got some of them ready. So I used my Cosmic Shimmer Colour Cloud blending inks, which I don't use very often, so that was another tick to get those used. I used a smoosher thing, borrowed from Natalie from NB Cards. I've got some blending sponges because they do work very well with the Colour Cloud, or with the Colour Cloud inks. And I've got I used some Aall Create tags, and frames, which I hadn't used. So I'll pull some of them out in a minute, but where are we? So I used the DI92 retro numbers, and that's this one. So, and this was made with Decadent Teal, Ocean Blue, and the Lemon Meringue, I think is that one. There might be some sheet grey blue in there as well, so it's a little bright in places. And then what I've done is to provide some consistency and sort of pull things together. I've used tea dye distress ink for the frame to make it so that it makes it stand out, and also, as I say, for a bit of consistency across the whole little album. So otherwise it's just going to be perhaps a mix match of colours. What I've also tried to do is use sort of the same colours, like, so for instance, this has got the lemon meringue in it, that's got the lemon meringue in it, that's got the decadent teal in it, that's got the decadent teal in it, and there's some ocean blue in this one, ocean blue in that one. So yeah, that's the idea. That's where I was, or what I was trying to do with these. So that's that one. I also used the Splo Dazzlers, which is number 33, number 33, and that's this sort of a frame, and that is, which one is that? Not that one. That's that one, and this is the Decadent Teal, and what do we got in this one? I think there's some Plum Cobbler, whatever it is, Plum Cobbler, and what was the other one? That might be the sheet grey blue, actually. I wonder if it's that one, wherever that one is. Here we go. Sheet grey blue. The label's got a bit faded, but it's, yeah, I think that's what might be on there. And then also I've stamped it with corresponding, I've done a little bit of stamping with some of the Aall Create stamps. So this one has got Explorer's layers on it, and I used the AR&T and the compass, and some other little bits. That's number 1259 for that one. So I did some stamping on that, on just the top layer, just on the topper. What else? That's that one. So this was the stamping on this one. I think I've already said it was lemon meringue, decadent teal, and ocean blue. And I stamped with, which one did I stamp with? Yeah, that's this one, which is number 714, and it's one of the border stamps, Create Sunshine. So that's that. Let's leave that over there. This one was decadent teal, toasted rose, I think. No, natural rosewood. Yes, probably toasted rose. Can't remember now. So that's that one. And the stamping is the Stamp Stories 1258. So some of the stamps from that one with the Lost Ink number 1260, and all these have been sitting in that box that I showed in the video in April, and so I decided to get them out and use them. Actually, this one is not that one. It is, yeah, that's right. And I made a little frame with one of them on where I'm going to put the photos, so which I haven't printed off yet. So that's that one, and then the other one I've made, I've also put eyelets in this one, which I intend to do with the other ones at the end. This one is the lemon meringue, baked peach. Sorry if it's a little bit bright, and pink princess, which is here somewhere. Whoops. So that's Pink Princess. Oh, sorry, Princess Pink. Got it the wrong way around. So that's that one. And what I also did with this one, I had some rub-ons, some Aall Create rub-ons, which I've put away. Okay. So I used some from the, what are these ones? Pastel Vibes. And I just used some of the up here, around here, and well, all over really, but some little bits and bobs. So just to give some little accents. And the stamp was number 539, Gem of a Plant, and I've just stamped down the sides. Those and around a bit. Oops, a bit bright again. Yeah, so that's what I've done so far. And then I was just aiming to show what I'm going to do for the next one, and then show you how I did each of them. Yeah, so that's what I was going to do there, and then the last one I'll make off camera. So I'm using for the last two, I'm using the DI92 again, and this one is the number 33. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll come back shortly once I've done that, and then at the end I haven't printed the photos off yet, so I'll need to do that, and then I'll come back and show the finished album. So right, I'll just tidy up a little bit, and then I'll start the video, then I'll start the next page. Okay, so it's finished now. I've printed off the photos, I've finished decorating the pages. I may add some ribbons or twine or something to the book rings, but other than that I think I'm quite happy with where it's ended up. So the only other thing I did after finishing off the pages was I went round and added some metallic inks. I've got some old Docrafts Artiste metallic inks in a sort of copper, gold and bronze, and I just used a dauber to go round the edge of each page with a sort of one of the appropriate colours, and just to sort of give it a frame. It looked a bit as though something was missing, and I did consider stamping around the edges, but then it felt as though it's going to be too much with the stamping on the frame. So in the end I settled for just giving it a metallic edging to the page. So that's what I've done, and then I've, as I say, printed off the photos and added them to, as best I can, to one of the matching pages. But yeah, so at the moment I haven't decorated the back. I may or may not, probably not, but we'll see. So we've got my stamp album back cover that I'd made with watercolours and some heat embossing, Aall Create butterflies. I think it's the fauna set. So these were some vintage postcards I made with Honeydew Crafts stamps, and I think it was Inkylicious postcard stamp and a random rubber postcard stamp, carte postale stamp that I can't remember where I got that from, and some other little bits and pieces. Yep. That's the one design 3 ways. So I used pattern papers and some die cuts. I used watercolours, and I used inks and polychromos, I think, with a little bit of stenciling in the background. These were the sample coin pocket dies and some tailor-made journals ephemera, I think, or they might have been sample stamps as well. And then some very quick and easy vintage style letters I made with sample stamps and a Crafty by Tony stamp. So those were my makes for, and finish it off with the Just For You card with some sample stamps. So those were my makes for April. Yes, forgot what month it was. So I am looking back at those and thinking, gosh, how time flies. But yeah, I quite like that little mini album, and that's the album for April makes. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you at the next video.